What's up guys, it's your boy Ravnut, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build this simple Swiss chalet or like mountain lodge that I think will work really well in your Minecraft world. So as we can see, it's got a lot of really cool details in it, and this sort of tutorial about how to build houses like this in general will really help you. So, full disclosure before we get started on this build, this tutorial's aim is not to tell you how to build this build in, like this specific build, but how to build something in this style, something similar to this in your own world. However, I will be including all of the schematics within the video on how to build the base of this, and then you can just interpret it like from the video itself, so you can build your own version of this build if you want. And obviously, if you do want a more specific tutorial, then let me know and I can do a block for block. So, let's get right into building. Right then guys, so looking at some palettes for the build, as you can see we've got 3 here. For our build we're going to be using this one, the sort of sprucey one, but obviously you can mix and match all the sort of colours and other palettes that you want if you want to make your own build. So in terms of this one, this is obviously one we're going to be using, and it's got a good variety of colours in it. We've got this grey base using the cobblestone andesite and polished andesite, which is outlined by polished basalt. We've got note blocks going along here, and in the corners, and well, as for corners and the walls, we've got spruce wood. So we've got stripped spruce wood in the walls and spruce wood planks as for pillars. There's a lot of trapdoors in this build, but we'll go over sort of individual design features in more detail when we do the build itself. So for the roof, the outline, we have dark oak wood, and for the roof itself we've got a mixture of sort of quartz and snow that make this really nice snowy pattern that makes just mixes in really well with these blocks. So obviously we've got a lot of very nice blocks in this build, and I think it looks pretty cool. Onto this build, onto this palette here, this is more of a sort of orangey coloured build, and we're using lots of acacia wood for the walls as well as cut copper as a sort of breaking up the wall feature. As for base, we've got a selection of white blocks, so we've got diorite, polished diorite and calcite with some quartz pillars at the sides. And a lot of copper is used in this build, and I think it looks pretty cool. For the outline we've just got normal oak blocks, and for the roof again we've just got this quartz snow mix. In terms of this final build, obviously something that you could do to mix it up a bit is just have different coloured walls. So in this case I've got green wool and moss as sort of like in a stripe pattern, because that makes it look kind of like stripes of wood. But you know, it's a bit tedious, but I think it looks pretty nice. We've got sort of like this bricky dripstone granite texture at the bottom, and we've got oxidized copper as our colour sort of block as the sides. We've got dark oak as the sort of pillars over here, so they make up those parts, and we've got again dark oak as the outline, and the snowy quartz mixture as the roof. So now we've had a look at those, let's have a quick look at some base sizes for our build. Right then guys, so looking at this build, well not the build, looking at these rectangle sizes, these are the base sizes for the buildings that we're going to be building. So if you don't know, if you haven't watched any of my videos before, then the way I plan out my buildings is I have a main square and then I build extra bits coming off of them, but we're going to be going into a little bit more detail on that later. So we have a small, a medium and a large, but we're going to be building the medium size for our build. So looking at the first one, the small, it's 13 by 9, so it's 13 along this side and 9 along this side. Realistically, we'd probably be looking at it from this side, so we'd be looking at it from a 9 for most of these builds, but obviously it's your choice how you want to align it. So this is pretty small really, there isn't really much you can fit in it, but if you just want to make like a small little cabin, then this will be perfect. So the one we're going to be building, our medium, is 17 by 11, and it looks pretty nice, I think. Obviously this is the size we're going to be building, and I think it looks pretty cool. So we've got, you know, a decent amount of room to add things onto the side, and I think this is good if you want like an actual house to live in. And yeah, so this is a good size, and it's 17 by 11 again. For the large, it's a 21 by 13, so this is very big. You can add a lot onto the sides of these, and obviously it looks really cool. So this would be good if you want sort of like maybe like a resort style thing, or a larger sort of mansion maybe. And yeah, so obviously this is a pretty good size. So now let's get on to the specifics of our build, and we can get right into building it. Right then guys, so as you can see, I've got the floor plan for our building, and I've also got the blocks that we're going to be using in it right behind me. So first of all, we're going to be going over the floor plan. So as you can see, it's quite complicated. So we've got a few sections here. So the red one is a 11 by 17, so that's the section we were looking at in the last clip. The sort of magenta one is a 9 by 11, so very similar to the other one, except it's the different way, like facing the opposite direction. The green one is a 7 by 9. The grey one is a 5 by 7, and finally, and the final like main square is the purple one, which is a 5 by 5, and that's going to be a tower. The white area is a 5 by 9, and that's going to be sort of a little porch that's going to be covered up by some by like a roof. The bottom yellow one is a 11 by 3, and that's going to be a balcony, and then the other yellow bit is also a balcony, and that's a 9 by 9. So with the final 9th block is connected to the like the block that it's touching. So as you can see, it's a fairly large build, and it's going to look really cool. In terms of the blocks we're going to be using, there should be basalt, well, polished basalt, cobblestone, granite, polished, no, sorry, not granite, andesite, polished andesite, note block, spruce wood planks, stripped spruce wood stairs, spruce wood trapdoor, dark oak planks, dark oak stairs, dark oak slabs, dark oak trapdoors, dark oak door, dark oak fence, quartz slab, snow layer, stone slab, andesite slab, glass, spruce tree sapling and plant pot, bricks, brick wall, granite wall, polished granite, and terracotta. So as you can see, it's a fairly large variety of blocks, but you'll see where they all like match in when we start building it. So that's all we need to do. Now we're going to get into a quick time lapse on what we're going to be doing in the build, and then we'll have a quick look over some more of the finer details in person. So let's go. And then guys, so as you can see, we're just building up this first layer with, in the corners, we're going to be having the basalt, polished basalt pillars, and then filling it in with a cobblestone andesite and polished andesite mix. But I think this looks really cool and adds a lot of detail to the build. So as you can see, we're only doing it for the full like bits, and it looks, and that's just so we can add in the balconies. We then added a layer of note blocks, then 5 spruce planks on top in each of the corners. We're then going to add in the spruce wood facing sort of sideways in between. It just makes a really nice little pattern. We're going to put another layer of note blocks on top, and then another 5 blocks of the spruce wood, but that's only going to be in certain areas. And now we're just adding in this little balcony area right here. So it's pretty much the same, it just doesn't have walls, and it's using this really cool pattern going along here. Adding in some nice little arches, and we're going to be adding the roof on the side here. So it looks pretty lackluster now, but it's going to look a lot better when we start adding more details to it. So the way you do it is you place a slab on the side, go out 2 blocks, and then add in a go out 2 blocks from the face that you're going onto. So as you can see there, you want to go in another slab on the same layer, and then go up a block, and then place a slab on the side. So if you just, looking at it now, you can see what's going on here, and that's just the main base for what we're going to be doing before we add in a little bit more detail later. So we're just adding in one on the side here that just goes down like that, adding in a tower which just has a lot of really nice details and just adds in an extra bit of height variation, but there is a lot on this build, so make sure to add in a bit of that just to make a little bit of interest. Obviously make sure that to place the roof areas on the side of the note blocks, because so we can have it all on the same layer and it just all matches up really well. And looking at this build, it's looking pretty decent so far. Next we are going to be adding in the corner bits. So every other block on this build, we're going to be adding 2 trapdoors, so they are going to be going up every other block, starting on the bottom note block as you can see here, and this is just going to make a really nice little area on the side and just add in a little bit more depth to the build. Now looking at the roof, we're going to be making a nice little, wait, hold on, what are we doing now? I don't know. Either way, well, we're going onto the roof now, so it's just going to be using the snow and the quartz slabs, just going up in a simple one block, one slab pattern like this, and it's just really simple and it looks pretty decent, especially when we start to mix in the snow and the quartz in together later, which looks really cool and just creates a really nice little pattern over there. So going along like this, we're just filling it in all of these areas just to make sure it's all done, and then we're going to add in a little bit more detail, mixing it all in, and it's going to look really awesome. The other detail we added is underneath the we'll go onto the trapdoors. As you can see, we're just placing them on the edge of the snowy bit there, and it looks just, you know, pretty nice, just outlines it really well and makes it look really cool. And underneath the little stair bits, underneath the edges of the roof or on the corners, we're just doing some upside down stairs to make it stand out a little bit more and just give it a little bit more support. Now we're adding a little dormer. So a good thing about this is that it's not very steep at all. It's got a gradient of like a quarter, I'm pretty sure. So this is just a really nice little detail, and you can use the for snow layers just to make this really nice, really shallow pattern going up, and it looks really cool. Obviously it won't be appropriate in any other circumstance, but it looks really well here. Now we're going to be adding a little balcony. So we got the note blocks just going out like a block with a stair with a trap door on the end of it, and it creates this really nice little pattern. It makes it look really sort of supported and not really steampunky, but you know, like metallic. I think it looks really nice. So now we've added some stairs on the side. We're going to be adding in some another one over here just next to a yellow one, and it's just really nice, creates a really nice little area for you to stand, and it's very simple but it looks really cool, and you know, it's just pretty cool. So now that we've done that, we're going to be going around adding in a chimney. So in this corner we're going to be adding in a brick chimney. So it's just really simple like this, using walls and polished andesite, just mixing in some terracotta and not polished andesite even, polished granite, and it just looks really nice. So now in front of where the windows are going to be intersecting with the roof, we're adding a little bit of, you know, a really cool little detail by just using some stone and andesite slabs, and they just make it look like the snow is melted from an area from the light coming out the windows. I don't really get snow much, but when we do get it, it seems to melt on top of the roofs as well. So depending on how far through winter it is, you can also add in little details like that. Looking at the windows, it's a very simple design. It's just an upside down stair and a right way up down stair sort of facing inwards with a glass block one block behind it, and it's a really simple design but it works really well. So we're also going to be adding in some small little doors that look really nice, but we've got a big front door that just really stands out and looks really cool. So that's pretty much the final details. As you can see, that really nice little front door on the front, but that's kind of the final details, just adding in the glass, and it just looks really nice. So now we're going to be having a closer look at the build in a quick detailed tour, and it's going to be looking and just having a little look at some of the smaller details. So let's get right into it. Right then guys, so as you can see, we've finished up the house and I think it looks really cool. So just having a look around, as we can see, it's fairly large. It's got a lot of really cool details in it. There are a lot of things that really make this building stand out and just look really cool, and there's quite a lot of stuff you can learn from this build and just sort of like put into other ones. So obviously looking at the details, I've gone over all of this in the sort of talk over of the replay, but as you can see, it's got some fairly cool details. So just starting over here, we've got these pillars going up, and they've got the trapdoors as for details to just make them pop a little bit further and give the house a little bit more depth. We've got this roof that overhangs like 2 blocks, so it means that these balconies are covered and just makes it like stand out a little bit more. Looking at the outline of the roof, the snow has been sort of like held in by these trapdoors, so these just act as a slightly thinner way to hold it in, and like from the side they kind of look like they're barely holding it in at all, and look pretty nice like this as well. As you can see, the roof is pretty interesting, so we've just mixed in a lot of snowy blocks, so a lot of snow as slabs and quartz slabs just to make it stand out. And in front of these windows we've added in some stone slabs and andesite slabs just to make it look like the heat has sort of melted areas of the like snow on the roof, and just gives it a little bit more story and sort of like interest to the build. I honestly really like this door design because it's slightly rounded, so we've used stairs and trapdoors to make this really cool sort of rounded pattern, as you can see, and I think it really makes the door look a lot larger, but also like it's not just a square. So yeah, I really like this. A lot of cool details. Obviously, as you can see here, we've just used plant pots to add a little bit of greenery, but obviously if you wanted to, you could get some leaves and just have them sort of go down from a window sort of like this, and that would add a little bit more greenery, but I think this works better because you can also have this like over here so it doesn't block off the balconies. So yeah, you know, there are a lot of really cool details here, a lot of good uses of sort of like different height variations, and I think this is just really cool. Another detail, just a quick one, I used this thing, it only goes up for every 1 block, it goes up, it goes along 4, and the way I've sort of made this look smooth is by using the snow layers, and I think this looks really good and actually works really well for this. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's all that I really want to mention at the moment. If I'm really happy with this build. I think it turned out really well. Yeah, so if you guys liked the video, then make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. So bye.